G'day, Ben from Melbourne here, and today we're going to continue with the series of videos I've been calling the Essential series. It's where I pick 5 records from a genre and an era of Australian stuff that I reckon are the building blocks to if you want to start an Australian collection and if you're into a particular genre. So far done some 60s garage rock, 70s punk, some Paisley underground indie rock jingle janglers from the 80s. So now we're going to get back to the punk, but we're going to be talking about punk from the 80s in this time, which was a very fertile period for Australian punk rock. A lot of these bands were, young, impressionable fans of, the big two, the Saints and Radio Birdman, and all of the great bands that came out of those two bands once they broke up. So we'll get straight into it. And you can't have an 80s punk essentials video without the Hard-Ons, and this is their record Smell My Finger. I picked this one mainly because I absolutely love the cover. But they're probably their most well-known record, Yummy, would be the most gettable. That's been reissued. I think a couple of their records have been reissued over the last few years, so hopefully they're gettable for you people in the north. This is kind of who I'm doing it for, by the way, these essentials, because since I've been doing stuff on YouTube, got a good reaction from people, in the States and in Europe and that, who don't know a lot of these Australian bands like we do. So these are like, there's more obscure stuff I could mention, but I think these are probably the out of 8 in these essential videos, I try and pick the 5 which I hope are a bit more gettable than the others if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Anyway, these guys, amazing band from Sydney, and they were kind of like, the start of, I guess, what you call pop punk, but don't think of them fucking horrible bands from the 90s and that exist today. They have heaps more edge than those bands. And also like to sing about intelligent subjects like the song I Farted. That sums up the Hard-Ons in a nutshell. Okay, next up, legends, Cosmic Psychos with Go the Hack. Now, this is the band that Amyl and the Sniffers want to be but never will be. This is original Australian yob rock. This is as good as it gets. Only original member left these days is Ross Knight. They're still trucking, still making great records and playing live and killing it. They got Mad Macca on lead guitar these days from the Onyas, which is a perfect fit. And I noticed in their most recent Australian tour, they got Dan Peters from Mudhoney on the sticks, which is a pretty good get. But Go the Hack's probably their best record. A lot of their stuff has been reissued. This one's on Art Records in collaboration with Ghana Records. And I think they've also reissued stuff under their own label, I think, which you can buy direct off them. Just don't buy the fucking... Oh no, sorry. Fucking hell, where's my brain going? What I was going to say, just don't buy. Don't buy the Hard-On stuff with Tim Rogers because they're shit. Everything before that's great. Sorry about that little interlude. Everything by the Cosmic Psychos is pretty much fucking awesome. If you like songs about beer, drinking beer, and going to the pub to drink beer, you're going to love the Cosmic Psychos. Next up, another Sydney band, the mighty Celibate Rifles, led by the now sadly departed Damien Lovelock. You can hear a lot of Radio Birdman in their sound, especially guitar-wise, but, of course they were their own thing. Damien Lovelock was a totally different kind of singer to Rob Younger, but it's just that supercharged guitar sound. Awesome band. I recommend any of their records. A lot of their stuff I've noticed is on the Spanish reissue label Bang, which puts out a lot of Australian records from that era. I'm a bit dubious on the Bang label, to be honest. I think they're a bit hit or miss as far as sound goes. You know, they sound like CD transfers, some of them, and some of them sound pretty decent. But yeah, me, myself, I would try and track down an original. I don't think Celibate Rifles are in that echelon of $1,000 records or any of that bullshit yet. But yeah, if you can get their stuff, which is on Hot Records, I'd recommend that. But if you can't, you just want the music, don't you? I'm not going to say that other blokes say the guy's got a similar haircut to me, but you know what I mean. Fucking awesome band. I just picked this one. I could have picked any of their records. They're great. And now let's move into a bit less of the straight up punk and more into what we would call the art punk, which could only come from Melbourne. And that, of course, is The Birthday Party, the band that the Boys Next Door morphed into. And, of course, you know, featuring Nick Cave, Roland S. Howard, Mick Harvey, Phil Calvert, and the sadly departed Tracy Pugh. This is amazing. They would have been amazing to see at the time. This is not your straight up punk rock, hardcore, any of that shit. This has got weird time signatures. Nick Cave's bellow that he had at the time. If you're only familiar with what Nick Cave's done now, you might be in for a bit of a shock. And one of my all-time favourite guitarists, Roland S. Howard, with his absolutely individual signature sound. Incredible stuff. These records have been in and out of print over the years. I can't imagine it would be too hard to pick up any of the Birthday Party records. I think all of them are great. I just picked up Junkyard in particular just because it's got a great cover and, you know, thought you might dig it. It's like that Eddie Roth, what's his fucking name, who drew it. I don't know, you comic people probably know. But yeah, fantastic record. And I think Drastic Plastic reissued a few of theirs a few years ago, but I'm pretty sure you can find some of their stuff. Legendary Australian band. And the last one, X, the Australian X, that's right. Featuring Ian Ryland and Steve Lucas. And has this got... Oh no, this has got what's his name again? Can't read it. Anyway, we'll just some reason they want to tell you that it was recorded in 5 hours at Trafalgar Studios, Sydney, Australia, 1979. Now I know this is 80s punk rock, but this actually came out in 1980. So, and I know they existed before that. They released, I think, maybe a 7-inch Hate City. And you can get the great, I think it's called Experts or Experts, which is like demos and 70s stuff you can get as well. But for this argument of being able to squeeze in some more of the 70s bands on the previous punk video, I stuck this in because it did, I'm pretty sure, come out bang on 1980. And this is a fucking killer record. Sorry, American X fans, but this is way better. Hard to compare, really. Totally different bands. X in America had that rockabilly, souped up sound going on. Fantastic band. Totally different kind of thing. This is like really strong on bass and drums with a real skeletal, spiky guitar and blood-curdling vocals, which... yeah, I don't know what Steve Lucas was doing to his throat, but it sounds fantastic. So this has got like the awesome Good On You Baby, Police, which I love, and Suck. Yeah, this has been reissued a number of times, so hopefully you can find this. At Home with X, their next record, which is a banger as well from maybe 4 or 5 years later, that's also had a reissue as well. So that's my 5 essential 80s punk records from Australia. Hopefully you can find some of those. At the very least, you can check them out online. All right, we'll see you in the next one.